Welcome back to Crypto's Key Conversation. I hope you're all having a great Saturday. I wanted to quickly put out some content here. This is from DAI, and he has this great video clip where he splices in what's going on with Joe Lubin and their new revamped consensus website. Goes strictly against what Chairman Gensler calls what a security is, which is interesting. DAI says, hey, Paul Grail, why don't the SEC rules apply to Ethereum? Why are we being sued over staking, but Ethereum can be staked at will through consensus? Hashtag ETHgate is real. You know it. I know it. Gary knows it. Jay Clayton knows it. Bill Hemmon knows it. Joseph Lubin knows it. We're watching an attempted monopoly creation in real time. Why won't any of these congressmen even acknowledge it? Why aren't they calling for an investigation? And he adds all of our Congress representatives. So let's take a quick listen into this. And then as you can see, I'm going to pause it whenever he splices in and edits in consensus website. Let's look at this.
Crypto entrepreneurs started offering what's called staking as a service. No, not like the steakhouse.
So as you can see here, it says staking with consensus. We are the world's foremost expert in Ethereum technology. Consensus is an engineering infrastructure leader at the forefront of the blockchain ecosystem, offering unrivaled Ethereum expertise. We are involved in every layer of Ethereum staking infrastructure. So it's right there. It's right there. Look, consensus staking, a secure and reliable staking platform. So we'll continue on.
Basically, if you transfer your tokens to a staking as a service provider, they take control, possibly pooling your tokens with thousands or millions of others while promoting returns.
So he's talking about promoting returns. It says earn optimized rewards for staking Ethereum. And then it has key metrics, hosted Ethereum validators, share of all Ethereum validators, and the rest of the stuff, man. It's trust and security measures. I mean, everything here, it's a beautiful, I guess you could say an ad for this consensus website, man. It's nuts, man.
But here's the rub. When a company or platform offers you these kinds of returns, whether they call their services lending, earn, rewards, APY, or staking, that relationship should come with the protections of the federal securities laws.
Yeah, stake ETH your way. Consensus staking application. Stake ETH with dedicated validator nodes without pooling funds. Consensus staking API. Use a single API to integrate staking into your application. MetaMask institutional staking marketplace. Stake ETH directly for a leading Web3 wallet for organizations. It's rewards. I mean, it's crazy.
That means you, the investor, should receive important disclosures.
Yeah, self-custodial staking on Ethereum. I mean, they did a great job with the website. I'm going to say that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, they're saying everything that you're not supposed to say in regards to Chairman Gensler and his views. But it's crazy because it's like, certain people can do, certain people can't. That's why he's saying the whole hashtag ETHgate is real. I mean, all the connections that we've been, unraveling and connecting the dots within the community with the Ethereum free pass timeline, hashtag ETHgate, and all the connections that we've been making when it comes to, all roads leading back to China type thing. It's obvious, who's been selected to pretty much do what they will at will, while the rest of us can't. I mean, God forbid if either one of us were to do that, we'd instantly get in trouble, or instantly have a lawsuit dropped on our lap. Case in point, the company Ripple and the digital asset XRP. And now you have, Binance and Coinbase got slapped in the face. And it's just crazy, man. Shout out DAI for putting that up. It's kind of contradictory that Chairman Gensler says that, but no one's going after Consensus and Joe Lubin. We had covered this tweet from Eleanor Terry in our previous video, and it's talking about former Jay Clayton and former CFTC Chairman Tim on a path forward for regulating crypto. It says, quote, enforcement actions in themselves are unlikely to bring about a significant improvement in investor protection and market integrity quickly. So obviously we were talking about Jay Clayton, kind of changing his tune. Even though he was chairman, he acts as if he was never SEC chairman, right? So JD says, Clayton literally acts as if he was not in charge of the SEC 2.5 years ago. Even worse, he had Eli Roisman and Hester Pierce as fellow Republican commissioners and thus had the votes to provide regulatory clarity and provide a pathway that would have allowed innovation to foster while taking steps to actually protect investors. For example, segregation of customer funds, crypto, 100% reserve, transparency, etc. By Jay Clayton, like Bill Hinman, was more interested in quote unquote cashing in on his position and by maintaining an opaque regulatory environment. It says immediately after leaving the SEC, Clayton joined One River and has been involved in the digital asset space since. With his buddy Hinman joined the A16Z group, among other things. The very investors who helped write his infamous Ethereum Free Pass speech. When compared to Gensler, some may choose to give Clayton a pass, but I'm not one of them. I don't think anyone in the community is within our community, and I hope in the broader crypto community aren't going to give him a free pass either. I mean, we're not idiots. We've put out, video clips, documents, audio clips of Jay Clayton, his connection, his involvement. Obviously, we're not, saying anything, accusing him of anything, I guess you could say that hasn't been, unraveled in the courts, right? But we're saying based on the facts that we have and evidence we have, bro, you ain't getting a free pass. We haven't forgotten what you've done. I mean, let's just talk about just the simple fact of the everyday investors that you're so-called set out to protect. As you're walking out the door, you drop a lawsuit on the company Ripple affecting the digital asset XRP, which then affects the customers that you're set out to protect, the everyday investors, when they're investing in XRP, knowing that community was absolutely massive. You destroyed and decimated thousands of lives, right? Financial futures were ruined for years. I mean, we haven't even been a part of the previous bull runs. Haven't even reached another all-time high. And it's not just about the digital asset XRP. It goes on to, the broader market. Look what's happening now. They've built off what Jay Clayton did with Ripple. Obviously, Chairman Gensler and SC are attacking everybody now. It's crazy, man. It's literally been a domino effect, compounding on itself. And obviously the overregulation by enforcement, that Chairman Gensler and SC are taking now is just further hurting the everyday investors. It's crazy, man. I wanted to cover this because I thought it made me laugh a little bit, and we need a little bit of laughs within the community, and there's some truth to it too. XRP Crypto Wolf, shout out XRP Crypto Wolf, man. It says, describe Judge Torres in one GIF, and then coming down here, snail, I seen like molasses and more snails, some sloths, just pretty much saying like she's slow, right? And there's a lot of truth to that. And I know John Deaton had came out and said we're lucky and fortunate to have the judges presiding over the case that we have, and we're obviously we can have her resolution or her summary judgment any day now. So it's just a matter of when it happens, not if. And based on all the evidence that's out there, I mean, it does seem like it's going to be in Ripple's favor. Who knows? But my thing is everyone already kind of put their GIF out. And I was just like, let's hope that she is accurate. She does the right thing. She slaps the SEC in their wrongdoings in the face, gives XRP regulatory clarity as a non-security digital asset, and then says, take the shackles off Ripple, XRP, and the XRP army so we can fly. But I said I agree with most. It has been slow. And it's felt like that. Maybe it hasn't been, per Judge Torres, maybe that's her timeline of how she does things, but obviously this is a big deal, so she's trying to get things right as possible. So we'll see, man. Tipsy Tiger. So this was interesting. I'm gonna play just a little bit of this because there's a lot of cussing, but I see the passion behind this gentleman. I think Tipsy Tiger hits it on the head when it says the worst thing anyone could do is contact the judge. So don't contact the judge. And I just wanted to put that out there. But I feel his pain here, and I feel his frustration. So I wanted to play this a little bit.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crypto News in a New York Minute. Folks, I need a favor from everybody that's anybody who's anybody that's everybody in the XRP community. Does somebody have Judge Torres' cell phone number, email, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, Facebook? Maybe she's got Threads. Can somebody hit her up and say, hey?
So I'm going to stop it there. So look. Do not contact the judge. John Deaton's told us that you don't want to do that for sure. If anyone has any ties to that, so I want to put that out there first. But then again, I don't know if this gentleman's being literal. I don't really know this gentleman, but I thought it was interesting. I felt his pain. You know what I'm saying? And it made me laugh. like the truth is like, we're all like, gosh, what's taking so long? What's going on? Like, the facts are the facts. You have everything you need in front of you. Obviously, we don't know what it's like to be a judge, to have this high profile case and knowing it's going to affect, the digital asset and crypto space moving forward. Like, there's a lot that's riding on it, right? Just us as everyday investors sitting on the outside, we're like, man, what the hell is taking so long? But pretty much what this gentleman's saying, he goes on to saying, we're tired of getting screwed. I want to be doing the screwing. Someone contact her and let her know like what's taking so long. It's time for he's pretty much saying it's our turn. You know what I'm saying? We've earned this right to we're on the right side of history, right side of law. We deserve ours in a sense. That's what I got from him. I don't know if he's being literal, meaning contact the judge. I think he's just trying to put out a video just based on the vibe I got from this. But I definitely feel his frustration and where he's coming from. But do not contact the judge. I think that's kind of self-explanatory. This is from X-Captain. It says, to Judge Torres, the SEC court has taken a huge toll on the entire XRP community and their families, emotionally and physically. And there's a lot of other factors there. It says the whole world is watching. And I think that's why it's so significant. We get so frustrated on all the timing of things, and we feel like she's taking forever, and she should have, everything she possibly needs to come out with her verdict, right? But really, the whole world is watching, and I know she's not an idiot. Obviously, based on her past history and everything JD's been telling us with all his lives that he's been having, updating us on the cases. She knows the whole world's watching, and it is going to have an impact on the crypto space, moving forward. So she's going to try to do everything as fair, just, and as right as possible. So hopefully things go all in our favor. And when I say all, I don't mean every single verdict or, we don't get all the wins, but, majority, which allows the space to flourish and, do what it's set out to do and innovate and solve real world problems. That is such a tough thing to say, and I can't stand saying it. But yeah, the whole world is watching, and I think it's interesting. I wanted to touch this real quick. This is from Cowboy Crypto. He's responding to Jane Rules XRP. He was talking about the XRP ledger in Q2 2023. This is from Masari. It says, quote, transaction fees on XRP all burned, applying deflationary pressure to the total supply of 100 billion XRP. Since XRP ledger's inception, only around 10 million XRP have been burned. Counteracting the burn rate, there is 1 billion XRP that vests to Ripple per month. Any XRP not spent or distributed by Ripple in that month is returned to escrow. In Q1 2023, total XRP sales by Ripple net of purchases were up 60% from Q4 2022, from 226 million to 361 million. This system will continue until the remaining 48 billion XRP becomes liquid. So the reason why I put this up here, because this is a lot of I have these conversations with a couple people that are involved in the crypto space and, are talking about, Ethereum and, they're, I think it was, what is it, the EIP 1559, I forgot what it's called. But like they were talking about, the burning of digital assets and that stuff. And I remember I had a conversation with a gentleman that was heavy in XRP like myself. And this conversation got brought up. And this gentleman right here says the amount of XRP burned since inception is next to nothing, literally just around rounding error. Only 1/100th of a percent. And I think Mr. Intuitive hit it on the head. It says next to nothing is better than nothing. No? And even better than more has been issued. No? So I think he brings up some good points. I mean, next to nothing is better than nothing, right? It's something, right? And then the fact that like more has been issued. No, right? So a lot of people have a lot of speculation on, what it is. The effects of the whole deflationary aspect of it. But like, quite honestly, like when you really zoom out and see what Ripple, the company, is set out to do and what XRP Ledger and the digital asset XRP has to offer, I mean, it's merely interesting. There's an exciting future that lies ahead. This is from Meta Lawman. This is an update from the SEC versus Coinbase case. It says SEC submitted a letter to Judge Torres yesterday responding to Coinbase's request for permission to file a motion for judgment on the pleadings. Here's what you should know. 1, the SEC will not object to Coinbase moving forward on the motion. This is important. While the SEC will oppose the motion, it will not try to delay consideration of the issues raised by Coinbase. This means there is at least some hope of a prompt resolution of the case. 2, the SEC's letter previews the arguments it will make against Coinbase. those arguments are not particularly strong. The SEC suggests that the library case somehow helps them, even though the judge did not hold the tokens traded on the secondary market as securities. 3. SEC relies on an inapplicable case out of Connecticut that was brought against the issuer of a token, not against a secondary trading platform. Maybe the SEC will come up with some better case law when the full briefing occurs, but this is not signaling strength. 4. The SEC offers no response at all to the damaging Gary Gensler testimony cited in Coinbase's letter. To recap, Gensler testified in May 2021 that the SEC did not have legal authority over crypto exchanges and there was no regulatory framework at the SEC for crypto exchanges. 5. The SEC says it will move to strike Coinbase's defense under major questions doctrine. The motion is very unlikely to succeed. It is likely, in my view, the Coinbase will eventually prevail on the major questions doctrine argument either at the district court level or on appeal. A briefing schedule of Coinbase motion for judgment on the pleadings should be established at the pre-motion conference set for July 13th. Bottom line, so far, Coinbase's strategy to accelerate the case appears to be working. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. It'd be nuts if this thing resolved before the SEC versus Ripple case. Yeah, what do they say? There are no coincidences, right? We'll see. And I wanted to touch on these last two things here. So there's been a lot of conversation on Peter Schiff and his view on gold and Bitcoin, and I really don't care to get in all the mess, right? I like to take in as much information as I possibly can, and I really try to do the opposite of the herd, right? So, they try to steer us away from gold, they try to steer us away from crypto, they try to steer us away from XRP, all these different things. When I see that, I instantly, think, okay, let me go ahead and look further into this. So I've been reading a little bit more into gold and what's happening. Obviously, you got the BRICS nations coming together to, they've been accumulating gold and other entities and countries, yada, 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 right? There's some value that lies there. And the fact that, you have certain people talking a certain way about gold and versus Bitcoin versus the crypto space, it just opened up my eyes and it makes me want to, dive further into it. So the whole fact of DAI talking about gold 2.0 is coming. Is pretty interesting. It says why own Bitcoin why own Bitcoin when you can own a digital asset backed by gold and solve the transportability problem of gold that is built on the XRP ledger. So from my understanding of the technology, right? Obviously we know the XRP ledger, it can be absolutely massive, right? So that's what we're excited for is the future that lies ahead. And we're talking about NFTs and we're not talking about just some artwork or some pictures. We're talking about actually putting real world assets on NFTs in a sense, housing, vehicles, anything. You can print anything, right? That's just one aspect of it. Like what if, they do utilize gold, through, the XRP ledger, just kind of speculating, for future things, but like, it's even more than that. Obviously you have like, I forgot the company. DI always talks about it, but there's a company out there where you can actually buy, pieces of gold, if you will, and you can have a credit card and you can spend gold and I don't know why I'm blanking on the dang name. But yeah, there's a company out there that does that. And I'm sure that's going to continue to grow. But the fact that like you can utilize, something as, tangible, if you will, like you can actually hold physical gold and then you can use it digitally, right? And spend it digitally. It's only going to transfer into the digital asset space as well. Like why wouldn't you put that on the XRPL? Why couldn't you use it within, in any other, ecosystem in the crypto space? Just interesting. It's just another, another asset, if you will, that can be highly important, especially with the whole U.S. dollar and, just pretty much, I guess you could say, the decimation of the U.S. dollar currency, right? And then moving to a fully digital economy. And coming over here, it ties into the whole what's going on, this whole narrative that's being pushed out. Why is that frozen right there? I'm actively recording right now, and it's literally sitting. My timer's still sitting at the same thing. It better be recording. I'm gonna be so mad if it's not. But I'm gonna finish here. It says Michael Saylor was talking about Larry Fink, right? And Larry Fink came out talking about let's be clear, Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency, and so it can represent an asset that the people can play as an alternative. And he's talking about Bitcoin being, digital gold. Obviously, gold can be digital. It can be, processed, utilized on on the blockchain. There's so much headed, into the future for this, right? So I think there's a lot of strength behind that. But I wanted to talk about the whole narrative, right? So you talk about digital gold, you talk about Bitcoin. That's why I brought up this whole gold thing. Now you have Larry Fink and BlackRock coming out, saying these things on live television, right? Getting the whole community excited, boosted up, Bitcoin in the crypto space for some point before we kind of had a little pullback. But it's like, what are they doing? Are they setting us up to, dump back on us? From my time in the space and my experiences, that's typically how things happen. Not to say that, we aren't in our phase one of the next bull cycle, right? We're still going to have some downside. So maybe they're setting us up right to where we do have some sort of sell-off, in the next few months or whatever. I'm just putting this out there just to kind of, I guess, put your antennas up and kind of open up your eyes and ears a little bit more. Like, hey, watch what they're doing. If you're one of those traders that, kind of swing trading or in and out, like, be careful, because they could be setting us up, to dump on us. That's kind of what it is, right? They set us up, hype us up, dump on us, and then they continue to scoop up and accumulate at the low. But let me finish on this real quick. We're currently sitting at a $1.2 trillion market cap. Bitcoin sitting at 30,184. Ethereum sitting at 1856, and XRP is sitting at just under 47 cents. And Bitcoin Fear Greed Index sitting at a 58. And man, this better have recorded. I'm gonna be so upset. It's still saying 1121, and it's not moving. But that's all I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Crypto's Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there and be safe.